Jurassic Park Operation Genetics. This game. This is an interesting little game. It's not perfect, not by any means. It's fairly interesting. Mimics a lot of the Zoo Tycoon games, which I really haven't played a lot of. I'm not really into a lot of these games, but this one seemed to have a little bit of charm to it, even if it's constantly berating you with dumb shit that you need to research and or do. I found that not only is this game immensely flawed, but it's really only fun for about, maybe about 50 minutes to an hour, 45 to an hour. I mean, once you have your whole park set up, you're kind of fucking done. There's nothing else to do. The game is very limited in terms of just how much you can actually lay out. I mean, you actually have a set limit unless you modify the game files themselves. You have a set limit through the game's engine on the amount of fences you can build, which is just atrociously stupid. And dinosaur species as well. I think you can only have something like 50 or 60 dinosaur species in your park at once. Oh, well, what do you know? They didn't find jack shit. This is pretty much endgame right here, I suppose, if you want to call it endgame. There's really not much left to do. All the fossil pits are exhausted. They just had it, man. The only really challenging portions of the game are mostly after twisters, hurricanes, what have you. This crap right here where, fucking dinosaurs will have a rampage and decide to smash through gates or kill other dinosaurs, which is a pain because you don't really know. Oh, see, yep, yeah. See, can't keep track of everything around here. God damn. It's not a terrible game. It actually looks quite good if you find a few mods here and there. Kind of beef up the visuals because the original game looks like shit. 2003, man. I mean, for Xbox and PlayStation 2, I can't imagine this game looked good at all. I don't remember even really booting it up without a mod first because I saw HD textures and I was like, well, if some modder decided to beef up the game's visuals, then they knew that it was fairly weak to begin with. So, of course, we have some of the most popular dinosaurs here. Some from the movie, I suppose. Of course, you can't actually have all of the dinosaur species in your park at once. Once you run out of fossil hunt places, I already missed out on velociraptors and a bunch of other crap, which is like, oh no. I suppose I could have had like a stegosaurus at some point, but that didn't happen, so it just didn't happen. Oh man, Camarasaurus. That's super awesome. So we got this Acrocanthosaurus and Tyrannosaurs, and we have these little groups of Pachycephalosauruses and Styracosauruses. Yeah, this is the game. You really just kind of set everything up, and you charge unbelievable amounts of money. $1,000, $2,000 a day, and people will pay it. I wonder if they will, just to really goof with. At this point, I could just start undercharging for everything else in the park and cut down on overhead costs and whatnot. This is really not much of an economy simulator here. It's really limited. Really. You really only have a few things you can actually adjust. I suppose you can hire or fire workers. You can change the duration of how long they're able to stay in certain venues. There's these things which seem to just take up a lot of space. That's my other problem. It doesn't seem like the dinosaurs have very much room to move around. I built this huge, huge enclosure, which cost me no small expense. Man, it cost me way too much fucking money for these high security gates or fucking walls here, whatever, man. And I have 3-4 Tyrannosaurs in here, and they just keep killing each other occasionally, so that's nice. Thanks, guys. Oh man, I can't always tell when they're asleep or dead. You can tell when they're dead because this shows up over here. Summary. Oh my God, it's dead. Who would have ever known? So, of course, there's weather conditions you have to contend with. You have heat waves, you have rain, you have thunderstorms. Thunderstorms, not a big deal. Rain, not a big deal. When there's like a national emergency or whatever on the island, you have to just immediately jump into action. And usually you won't see because of how limited the actual game's interface is. I mean, you won't actually see where dinosaurs have escaped. Sometimes it takes like 4 or 5 minutes just to find out if there's a hole all of a sudden in one of your gates or it's been destroyed. And then after, I don't know, 5 minutes, no, not even 4 or 5 minutes, you'll suddenly get all these notifications of shit that needs to be repaired, and it's so fucking irritating. It's just so poorly handled. I mean, for the player, I can see why you would like this game. It is a Jurassic Park themed game, and honestly, there's not a lot of good Jurassic Park games. There's those ones for the Genesis, there's one for the Game Gear that's pretty fun now that I remember. There's nothing like this, though. I mean, if they could just kind of, I don't know, if some other team could put together a very similar game like this, just maybe add a little bit more to it. This is so limited. You basically don't really get a chance to do anything. You build a couple gates and you throw some dinosaurs in, boom. Dino DNA. And of course, these other things are sort of tacked on. You use the fossil hunt to find more fossils to extract, and the fossil market is, I don't know why Dr. Grant is still involved with all this, but I guess he's getting paid good money, $19,000 just for a fucking piece of amber. Jeez, Dr. Grant. Fucking greedy prick. Of course, you have the ranger station. And this is the silliest goddamn thing. I don't understand why it tries to replicate characters from the movie that are dead, like Mr. fucking Samuel L. Jackson here. Where did you come from? I guess he's still running the park, man.
What would you like us to do?
I get that it's sort of a fictional what if, like if you were Dr. Hammond, but you're not. They don't even really imply you are. You're just some guy who's like, I'm gonna fucking make a dinosaur park. And, I mean, there's some familiar things from the movie, but there's really no behavioral interactions. Your dinosaurs have very simple behaviors like socializing, relaxing, idle, wandering, or stressed. That's it. There's nothing else to it. I suppose I can test this fence. Oh, fence is in top shape. Wow. Better be. I put good money into that fence. Yeah, I know. They're not going to find anything. The fossil hunt's pretty much over with. In fact, why don't I just go ahead and pull them off of everything? Because they're not going to find anything. They're all exhausted pits. In fact, I think the only thing you can find at this point is maybe some opals or gold or silver, which is another kind of weird thing that's tacked into this game. When you run out of fossils, or, occasionally you won't find fossils, but you'll find opals, silver, and gold, and diamonds and shit. You can sell that, but it's meaningless. It's completely frou-frou. It doesn't matter. It's superfluous. It's just more money that, I mean, I already make tons of money. This fucking $2,000 a day, and people will pay it, as we've already established. I guess you can also use the ranger to sedate dinos if you really need to. I mean, this guy's asleep, but I could sedate him and then move him to another cage, but then you can't really do that because if you mix species, there's a very good chance that they'll all kill each other if they're carnivores. If they're herbivores, they don't give a shit. Oh man, the dino lure. I honestly don't know how to set up the safari adventure because, I've built them before, but they don't seem to make a lot of sense. And even worse is, there doesn't seem to be a lot of room, and I always tend to put water sources in the middle of most of the enclosures. It's my own fault, I suppose, but I mean, as you can see visually, thanks to some heavy modding efforts, the dinos look pretty good. I've got some nice HD textures on their skins. It looks well, good. Yeah, I suppose.
What would you like us to do?
Oh, Fossil Team's idle. Maybe I shouldn't have bought 5 of them. That's also, you're also limited in that respect. You can only buy 5 fossil hunting teams, which is just unbelievably weird. Actually, at this point, there is nothing to do in the game. It's actually kind of tragic. Nobody really cares. Everyone's happy. Everyone's having a great time. But if they see you start retiring dinosaurs, another issue. If you start retiring dinosaurs, which means killing them, realistically. Yeah, I mean, people will be like, oh my god, why would you kill that dinosaur? I'm like, well, I didn't know what the hell else to do with it. I can't really fucking move it somewhere, and I didn't have any other plans with it. I'd want to have the more popular dinosaurs in the park, like the Tyrannosaurs, because they're like a 5-star attraction, man. Why would I keep Acrocanthosaurus over somewhere? Why would I keep this guy, who's a mere 4 stars when I could have 3 or 4 Tyrannosaurs? Makes no sense. Also, really seems like they don't have enough room. There's also security cameras that don't really make anything better or worse. I don't know. I've never really experienced any issue with dinosaurs. I suppose I could build some fucking sentry turrets. That's just fucking bizarre, too. Yeah, fucking kill those dinosaurs if they move a muscle. This is absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, it's fun for what it is. It's very dated in terms of, I mean, there are much, much better financial or economical or zoo tycoon or tycoon-esque games out there within the genre. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about it. I give it about a 7 out of 10. It's fairly unpolished. It has a lot of niggling issues, and it can be a real bitch to play if you haven't set up a park before. And then once you have that down, it's not a hard game at all. There's also a couple of issues that I guess I've had a problem with is people don't tend to really explore large portions of the park. They only tend to stick around maybe like 3 or 4 key exhibits, but they won't wander around over to here. It says that there's people viewing this shit, but I don't see them. I don't see nobody. Also, the emergency mode is kind of flawed too. If you don't have visitor shelters, because they only hold like 40 people for some silly reason, if you don't have enough of those, then you'll have like a bunch of people die during an emergency, and everything just, oh god, they'll take all your stars away, man. Like I said, overall, 7 out of 10 game. Lacks a lot of things, refinements. It has some weird movie elements tacked onto it for some retarded reason. But overall, it's enjoyable if you like Jurassic Park and you enjoy this kind of style of game. Thanks for watching.